The Rockets have made a sneaky signing as GM Rafael continues to find players that will help out this team in the long run as we give you the details of this newly acquired player and why he finds himself on a two-way contract with the Houston Rockets. Hello everybody, welcome to Rockets Digest. I'm your host, Donovan Regondo, and as always, hit that subscribe button below if you're looking for Rockets content daily and want to stay up to date on all the latest news. That's going to be right here on this channel, so hit that button below. Now, we're going to go straight into our main story for this episode as Michael Scotto tweets out this saying that the Houston Rockets and Kevon Harris have agreed to a two-way deal. Senior VP of CSC Talent, Darrell Comer, told Hoops Hype. Harris was G League Next Up Game MVP and signed a 10-day deal with the Atlanta Hawks last season. He averaged 19.8 points and 7.1 rebounds in the G League, which are some solid numbers from anybody really in the G League. Of course, those things don't always transfer to the NBA, considering the amount of minutes that people typically don't play. But at the same time, not bad for someone in the G League who was a class of 2020 in terms of his draft class, and 5 years since then, he's consistently been improving. So in this video, we're going to give you a breakdown of his pros, his cons, what are some upsides of him, and as well as a little bit of the latest news on what's happening with our G League affiliate, the Rio Grande Valley Vipers. So all that right here, as Kevon Harris himself reacted to this news, seems to be very happy to be in Houston in this next step in his NBA journey. So always good to see him, excited to join our team and excited to contribute on his two-way contract. But now, a little brief breakdown about Kevon Harris, who last played in an NBA game during the 2023-2024 season when he was with the Orlando Magic. He finished the year with averages of 2 points and 1 rebound per contest while shooting 66.7% from the field in 2 games. So this is a guy who has not seen a lot of NBA action. Of course, this is not a signing of a guy who is going to be on the roster, the main roster, next year. This is a guy who's going to continue to develop on that two-way contract. And so Harris has played part of 2 seasons in the NBA with the Magic. His career averages are 4 points, 2 rebounds per contest, while shooting 44.5% from the field and 37.2% from three-point range, which is not bad, considering he played 36 games, not a lot of minutes. Solid numbers, nothing too crazy, nothing too terrible. So overall, G League quiet numbers, right? His pros, he's a decent scorer off the dribble, adequate shooter, excels at scoring on the move. He's a tremendous free throw generator. He's a real big body that can get in the paint. Decent rebounder, adequate defender, which are one of the key characteristics of Houston Rockets players at the moment. You have to be able to rebound. You have to be able to defend on any level in the NBA, G League, or the NBA. And overall, just a solid athlete. He comes from Stephen F. Austin, who is a very hardworking school, the way they have their basketball program over there. He scored a lot of points against Duke in their matchup back in college. I think he had 26 in that game, and so he's got a lot of good upside to him. His cons, he's a little bit inconsistent when it comes to his long range shooting. He needs to improve his playmaking skills a little bit. He's not exactly his own creator, right? Like, yes, he can drive, yes, he can go into the paint and make something happen, but he's not necessarily like your go-to guy in that aspect necessarily. Sometimes on defense, he can be a little too unfocused, right? Not being fully locked in on the plays, the schemes, whatever it may not be. Not as elite of an athlete. He has limited experience against top competition, which again, going to Stephen F. Austin, you don't really play in that competitive of a conference. Maybe not competitive, but you don't play like some of the Power 5 schools. I'm not sure which conference Stephen F. Austin is. If you know, let me know in the comments. But again, they had that one game against Duke, but all those other games throughout his college career were against non-Power 5 conferences. And so that, plus the fact that he hasn't really played in the NBA necessarily, has spent a lot of time in the G League, where he has in fact thrived, is something that is a little bit of a backside of this. This really and truly is an investment on Kevon Harris as a player, and what he can possibly do for the Houston Rockets in the G League. Now, NBA Scouting Live had this quote to say about him, saying, quote, Kevon Harris is an athletic, energetic swingman that can excel at attacking the basket to garner scores. He is a very good scorer in transition, and he can score on strong drives to the basket. And he will need to show that he can consistently knock down outside shots against tougher teams. End quote. And so this is pretty much is a good summary of him as a player. He's very energetic. He likes to go in that transition offense. He's able to use his power and drive to the basket because he's a very big guy in that aspect. And so he has all the tools necessary to develop as a player. It's just a matter of putting it all together, right? As we've seen him improve his shooting. As I want to take you to this quote right here of him and his shot. During that time, he has steadily improved as a shooter, as evidenced by his 40.2% clip from three-point range last season on 5.8 attempts per game, which is not bad necessarily. If that's like 6 attempts per game, he's making 2 or 3 of those as a three-point shooter, which over Harris's first 2 G League seasons, 2020, 2021, and 2021-22, he shot approximately 34% from deep. So he is getting better as a shooter. We're seeing this consistency in terms of his development as a shooter, the time he is taking to get that skill and hone it, not only for himself, but for his family, for his team, and making sure that he is developing that skill set. Because he knows once he goes to the NBA, if he has any chance of playing on the main Rockets roster and gaining some valuable minutes, he is going to have to work on that three-point shot, which he knows this team needs, right? Obviously, he was not on the Rockets prior, but now that he's on a team that values three-point shooters, probably right now more than ever, is going to be another motivating factor for a guy like Kevon Harris. Now, in terms of what else is happening with the G League and what's going on with there. So right now, Jack McVay, who many of you know was one of our players in the G League, was not re-signed to his contract. He is now leaving the Rio Grande Valley Vipers and will find himself on another team. But in contrast to McVay, the Rockets did issue a two-way qualifying offer to center N'Faly Dante, and forward David Roddy is already on a two-way contract for 2025-2026. So as things stand, it appears Harris, Dante, and Roddy are in line for Houston's two-way role. So those 3 guys, expecting to see them on the bench throughout the season, in case you're wondering who the heck they even are. Harris, Dante, and Roddy find themselves on those two-way contracts. McVay getting replaced essentially by Harris in this scenario. And real quick point on N'Faly Dante. I've made a video about him about a month ago now. I'm very high on him. I think he has the potential to develop into a big. Before we signed Clint Capella, I thought he was going to be that third backup for this team. He's very, very solid. He's a good old school big man. The only downsides really for him is, yes, he's a little bit slow on the court, but at the same time, his shooting isn't the best, right? His free throw shooting, his 3-point shooting is practically non-existent. But at the same time, if Ime Udoka ever needed minutes from a big that can just get in there and be physical in the paint, N'Faly Dante, I think is exactly that guy. So if you have not checked out that video, go ahead, check that out. I think that is one of the good moves we have made in this offseason in terms of these G League guys. But Harris, Dante, and Roddy, all in line for two-way roles. We wish them all the best in their journey to find themselves on this main roster. It's going to be very tough, especially for these Houston Rockets who are stacked right now, who have pretty much every position filled. Yes, there is some point guard questions, some wing questions, but at the same time, this roster top to bottom is one of the best rosters in the NBA. It's going to be something. It's going to be very exciting to see. It's going to be very exciting to see how the Houston Rockets play this out and how well they do next season. But those 3 guys are the update for our G League affiliate, the Rio Grande Valley Vipers. Try saying that 5 times fast. But yes, that pretty much sums up the news for this video. As always, we appreciate you joining us. Hit that subscribe button below. I'm your host, Donovan Regondo. We'll see you on the next one.